Hello and welcome back to the channel and my playthrough of Middara. I don't know if we're gonna call it a full playthrough, but my trial run until the Kickstarter late parade ends, which is coming up soon. So, last episode we went through the Mast phase 1, and we're going through the Mast day 2 today, in which we fight 3 more cave sickles up here in the corner, and 1 Gavadan, which is a big, tough, scary-looking pupper. With 10 defense, hopefully we can, and 12 health. Hopefully we can wear it down eventually. It has a orange dice. That's going to be terrifying. However, we will try our best. Oh, there's the gold thing. I have 11. Okay. So, how do I reset the deck? There we go. Got it. Let's go. Mass Day 2. A small pond stands between you and a ferocious Gavadan. Your sudden approach must have drawn its attention, and the creature now growls in your direction. In the dark, you can hear the clicking of cave sickles somewhere in the distance. Hopefully, if nobody gets too close, the cave sickle won't even realize anyone is here until the Gavadan has been killed. I don't think so, because they can move 6. Basically, if anyone's within range 10, they're going to come in and attack. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's like the entire board. I don't think we're going to be lucky enough to not get them unless we kill this thing super quick. But that is that. End conditions. All opponents are defeated. Lose conventions. All adventurers are defeated. Loot mundane. Special encounter. This encounter of the Mast will grade you on your combat performance. Record the score you earned during this encounter in the notes section of the encounter sheet. Your score for each encounter can never fall before 0. So, tip about flanking and terrain. Proper positioning is everything. Figures may never dodge while in water. Use this to your advantage when fighting an opponent that dodges a lot. Be careful though, this restriction also applies to you. If you're having a hard time hitting an opponent, don't forget to flank. Flank just means if we are on opposite sides of an enemy or opposite corners, you get +1 to the attack roll. Also, oh yeah, this thing does like to dodge a lot. Let's look at the special abilities of the Gavadan. Agile, the first time the Gavadan is attacked, each turn it tries to dodge. Ferocious, when the Gavadan successfully dodges an attack, it gains courage. Adrenaline, the first time each turn the Gavadan can, it will counter with an attack at up to 2 reach. Amazing. And it has 12 health, 10 defense, 6 movement. Perfect. Let us go. Let us shuffle this thing. See how we do. Okay, Gavadan. There is no opponent adjacent. It's in the middle of water, which is... It takes 2, just like hindering terrain, I believe. I just looked at that somewhere. Water. Figures may not dodge. It costs 2 movement to leave a water space. Okay. So then... is there an opponent within reach to? There is not. Can it move and attack an opponent within reach to? Which is 6. 1. Well, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, so it's going to be 4, 2, 4 away. So it does nothing. It just sits there like a goober. Next, it is Zeke's turn. So 1, 2. It's annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody has 6 movement, right? Yeah. I wonder if it's worth it to try to aggro the cave sickles first as opposed to the Gavadan. You know what? We're going to do it. 1, 2. Wait, that's 1. Does it cost 1 to move into or move out of? It doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is Zeke done. That costs a movement. We could probably move again for 2. 1, 2. And then it will be Remy, waifu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll keep her back. That's fine. Again, stamina. Next, Rook, the big bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Nightingale going last. Gonna probably try to keep her back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next it is the Cave Sickle's turn. Is there an opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent in range 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Can they move and make an attack against an opponent in range 4? Probably. 1, 2, 3. Range 4 from the nearest opponent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's enough to get to range 4 with Rook, who is the closest. Who has a defense, a nice defense of 8 and 3 armor protection. So let's go. Both of those are in Sphere of Influence, so the attack dice is upgrade. I think I messed up. Whatever. Attack dice are 2 whites against Rook. Does Rook have a dodge? Probably not. Nah. Nah. Okay. I mean, he can dodge if he wants to. I don't think he's going to. His defense to beat is 8. And if he does 3 damage, it's nothing. So yeah, let's do it. 5. It misses. Good job. Then the purple one will also move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And does the same thing. Doing that again. 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is a hit. He has 3 armor defense, so 8. So he takes 1 point of damage from that. Oh, they have in power tokens. I have to remember that. Power tokens. Shields are +1. 1, 2, 3. So he takes 3 more damage. Ow. It's fine. It's probably fine. Next, it is the last one's turn. 1, 2, 3. Is this anyone 4? 1, 2, 3. I think so. And he is going to do the same thing. You know what? Zeke's going to dodge. He probably should have dodged whatever. That did not. 8 doesn't. With the shields, nothing happens. Perfect. So that is it for that round. We don't get an urgency token because it's Cave Sickle's height activated. Shuffle. Okay. Zeke is going first. Let's go, Zeke. Give him hell. 1, 2, 3. We're going to spend 1 to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get this one down, shall we? Then we're going to attacks at 2, right? Yes, 2. So we have 2 purple. Oh no, 2 whites because he's so cool like that. Okay, 2 white dice. Do I want to empower? Nah, we're just gonna roll then. Just roll high, Zeke. That's pretty good. That's a 12 against the Cave Sickle's 8, so that is 4 damage. Oh, that's 4 damage base plus 5, 6, 7. That just kills 1 outright. That kills number 3 outright. Perfect. Boom. It did not take the token off the board. It's supposed to, I think. Then he's going to exhaust this just to make another attack against the one right next to it. Come on, Zeke, you got this. That's 10, 11, 12. So that's 6. That's another instant kill. Good job, Zeke. It did it that time. And that is it for Zeke. Next is the Guvadon. He is still... Can he move? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because the water is hindering terrain. Next, it is Nightingale. She is going to get revenge for all the times they beat her up yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just get right next to you. Of course, we could have just... Where was she? She was right here, right? I'm trying to see if she can get in range enough to do her gore shot against the Guvadon just to take some extra poke damage before things get rough. 1, 2. Her sphere of influence is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. I could double. I could move up, I suppose. Yeah, let's do it. Using 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Using another 1 to get a little bit closer. Little bit. 1, 2, 3. We are now within range for that. So we're going to cast this spell. So, a force pool consists of the figures putting casting die or upgrade, which is a purple. That. So it's 6 plus 6 is 12. Each target makes a conviction check against 12. This thing's conviction is 2 whites. That's a hit for us. So it does. You may deal 2 magic damage. You may also deal yourself. Oh, I have to empower this, I think. It says win making. You know what? Yo, let's do it anyway. A little late, but yeah. No skull. Okay, that's a lot. So, power when add 1 to the force for the spell. Okay, got it. This also empowers magical damage. I don't think I did that last time, but it's fine. So it's right now it's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. That's 8 magic damage if I'm doing this right. And I could deal myself 2 damage to make it 10. I mean, assuming I'm doing this right, I'm just going to do it. 10. Nice fireball, 2 damage. Because twice to her highest level Kuro discipline, which is this, so it's 2. That's exhausted. And let's see. Okay, magic seems pretty OP, but that's just me. She's also going to use her once per encounter ability to gain 2, so she can hopefully dodge in case that thing comes attacking her before next round, and everybody else gains a 1. Okay. Next, Rook. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Beat this thing down, Rook. Beat it down. It has 2 whites. Let's go. Should I empower that? Well... Oh, wait. First to get up to 3, then 1 to move, and 2 to attack. Okay. Let's just... Let's go. 10. So that is... That's a hit. And currently 2 points of damage. 2, 3, 4. 4 points of damage. So not quite dead yet, but he's hurt. And he has enough to just hit again. I don't see why not. 7, 8, 9. Plus the shields, it's 11, so that's a dead sickle. Okay. And then it is Remy. Remy's going to move. First she gets up to 3, which is full for her. She's going to fly to get closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have to fly, I guess. But I'll use the SP to move 2 up more. Okay. That seemed like a pretty good turn. Assuming I'm doing this magic right. I don't think their defense gets into magic. It doesn't say anything about this in here. Yeah, it says right nothing here about magic damage being reduced. I did do that wrong. So it's base 2. I did on irreducible damage make it to 4. This should be 5, 6, 7. I don't know how I got that extra from. Because it doesn't overflow. That's what I'm thinking of. So, still good damage. 7, halfway dead, but not almost completely dead in one shot. Okay. That's why you check the rules, people. And that is it. No enemies activated, so we get an urgency token. And we reshuffle. Can we kill it before it gets an attack? We might. It's not currently in water, so it can dodge, which very annoying. Well, Remy's going first, so she gains 3. 1, 2. I think she's just going to move a little closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Range 2. 1, 2. So we move up and then do that. Let's move here. Yeah, and then, so it has to move a little bit up to here to get it within range 2, which is kind of where I want it. Kind of. Next, Rook. Big boy, 3. There's been 1 to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that seems fine. And nothing else, I don't think. Nightingale. I mean, it worked so well last time. Let's do it. No! Bad stuff happens when you do this on a spell. I know that the spell, I think, auto fails, but like... Empowering a spell, 51. I was just there. What did it say about... Here we go. During a spell, if the blank is rolled during a spell, the spell fails to affect the target, and 3 damage is dealt to the caster. Okay. Ow. 1, 2, 3. I need a heal. Rook already went. Rook would have done this just to gain these 2. Now it is the monster's turn. It can... No opponent adjacent. There's no opponent within reach 2, but it can move and attack an opponent within reach 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's going to go after Remy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay. So, then make an attack within reach 2. So the attack is a yellow and a black. Yellow and an orange. Remy has some stuff to dodge, I believe. Right here. Dodge. And if you successfully dodge the attack, I may counter. So now Remy's defense is 7. Let's go. Oh, and with that dodge, it is successfully evaded. And it was dodged, so now it is, I may counter. So we are going to counter with 2 white dice. We're going to spend 1 FP or whatever it's called to empower this. Nothing else I can do. Let's go. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 10. That is a hit. So we're doing 1 damage so far. 1. Books and things are so far. 1. Oh, Lord, that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. Oh, it's dead. It is deader than dead. That was quick. Oh, I'm liking this game. Oh, I didn't do the thing for the swarms, so... Whoop. 7 more loot. And then 1 for the big bad. 7 more. Okay, so that was it. Reward, restored adventurers, so everybody's back up to full. That was nothing. Then proceed to poor doggy, page 12. Aw. Okay, let me open this stupid thing again. While I shut up. Because, come on. Because again, this is solo.
Poor doggy. Remy sighed, forced herself to look at the slain Gavaden. I don't suppose anyone has a shovel. I feel like we should bury it. She couldn't help her wings from drooping a little, no matter how excited the rest of her friends were at their victory. Nightingale rose from where she'd been rinsing her hands in the dark water. I don't think you can dig a grave in a stone floor. I guess, Remy said. I suppose it just reminds me of a dog from back on Earth. I used to have pets back before I came to Middara. Remy turned to follow the group as they left. Yeah? Dogs or cats? Zeke asked, but he kept talking before she could answer him. Cats, right? Yeah, actually. How'd you know? Remy said, surprised. You look like a cat person. I bet you had a dozen, Zeke said, poking her in the shoulder playfully. Remy wasn't sure if he was making fun of her or not, but she replied seriously. Only 1, actually. Zeke laughed and lit a cigarette. The second night. Tonight they had chosen a much smaller chamber off of what they took for the main passageway. It was far smaller than the room they'd chosen the night before, but it only had 1 entrance, so at least it would be easy to keep watch. Nightingale was put on scouting duty this time. It was nice to have something mindless to do. It was like all the housekeeping she'd done back in her family's little motel on Earth, rocking from room to room with an MP3 player. Pity she hadn't been able to bring it when she had come to Middara. Nightingale happened to be passing by the entrance of a nearby chamber when she caught a flicker of light from beyond the passageway. "Hold on!" she said out loud to herself, waved, and stepped out into the central hallway. Like much of the rest of the cave, this shaft was square with faded geometric patterns cut into the floor and walls. She grinned, drawing her weapon. The light was growing quickly, down from a direction they hadn't explored yet. Nightingale gripped her weapon tightly, preparing for a fight. Another few seconds and the light and footsteps resolved into a man, stooped with the weight of a heavy-looking sack. The man's armor was tattered, and he looked like he had just gone through a fight. In the faint light of his glowstone, the thin man looked triumphant. "Oh!" She lowered the weapon, striding casually into the hallway in front of him. "Thought you were a monster." "Nah," the man said, pointing back the way he'd come. "Our group just killed a tomb guardian back there. The thing was loaded with too much loot for us all to carry." He gave her a smug smile and continued, "This is my second trip, actually. Looks like we are doing better than the royalty is." Nightingale's smile faded. "Oh, yeah?" she said, considering her options.
Okay, so we have a choice. Nightingale must make a decision. Extort the man for his extra loot. He was rude and he doesn't need it. Or let the man pass unharassed. After all, he earned it. Like, I am not that rude. So yeah, we're gonna let the guy do. We're gonna let the guy like keep his stuff. Let's see what we would have gotten if we had. Doesn't even look like there's a skill check. 1 random relic, 2 random consumables. Who cares? So yeah, we're gonna go step aside.
Step aside. Nightingale figured she couldn't just take his stuff. The man shoved his way past her, causing her to stumble. "The swag's mine," he said with a haughty laugh. Nightingale didn't argue, glaring at his retreating back. It wasn't as though they were supposed to fight the other teams for loot. She grunted, then made her way back to camp.
You know, after he pushed me around like that, I kind of wish I would have taken it. Anyway, the party gains 5 points on their mask grade. Okay. Oh, I forgot to record my mask grade. What was it? So 6, that's 11 more points. 10, 11, and 12. Let's go. And we continue to sleep tight. That's a lot of words.
Sleep tight. The little room heated much better than the vast chamber from the night before, and soon enough they were all toasty around the fire. The conversation was less subdued than it had been the night before. Everyone looked significantly more tired. "I'm not really sure what I'll do when I graduate," Rook was saying. "I mean, I couldn't just go back to the farm after spending all this time at the Institute." "What? You don't like farming?" A little cloud floated around Zeke, mingling with the smoke from the fire. He hadn't put down a cigarette since finishing his meal. Rook shrugged. "Nothing wrong with farming. My parents are good people and they do important work, but..." He paused. "We're not getting older anymore. And I'm no Cincinnatus. I think if I had to stay on a farm for eternity, I'd go insane. My idea of Elysium is a little less pastoral and more actually doing something." Nightingale chuckled and nodded, even though she had no idea who Cincinnatus was. "Well, I've got a suggestion," she grinned, resting one hand on the weapon at her side. "When I graduate, I'm going to join the Demiurge. You know, Elenia's special forces. Every day's an adventure after that. Why don't you join too?" Her smile widened. "I've got a friend who's already in. I'm sure he could put in a good word for you, with the way you fight." "We'll see," Rook said dismissively. "My parents are expecting me to help out on the farm." "Farming is so lame," Nightingale said, tossing her legs up onto a nearby rock. "We all have our roles," Rook said flatly. There were a few moments of silence then, as each waited for the others to speak. Nightingale turned slowly to look at Remy. "What about you? What are you going to do with your shiny new citizenship? You're the only one without familial expectations, right?" Remy looked away, shifting uncomfortably. I don't really know. They waited, but Remy didn't elaborate. We shouldn't give up adventuring after this. Nightingale tried to look as reassuring as she could. If we're here, we might as well enjoy Middara's advantages. We could live forever exploring ancient ruins, rescuing artifacts of unimaginable power, saving the world. Zeke looked doubtful. Can't live forever if you get eaten by monsters. Like that would happen. Nightingale raised her twig-like arms and flexed. Have you seen these guns? Yeah, we'll see. Zeke rolled his eyes. There's still one more day left in the mast. Plenty of time to find something big and hungry enough. They'd probably have to eat 5 of you to fill up, though. Or 1 rook, Nightingale smiled. Rest came easier the second night, though Nightingale awoke a little sore from all the walking and fighting. They didn't stay long. Another breakfast of trail rations, and it was back to the cave for their last day of the mast. It was a little annoying how their travel distance each day was restricted, bookended with impassable hallways and convenient campsites. Even less faithful to adventuring was the regular presence of the bellicose cubes. Nightingale doubted very much that she would ever see one in any of Alinia's ruins. She couldn't wait for the next fight, but there was no bellicose cube as they proceeded. Confused, Nightingale glanced around the cavernous chamber. That's strange. Nightingale kept walking forward. I don't see a bellicose cube. You think we're almost done? I was really hoping to fight a couple more monsters before we finished. That shouldn't be the case, Rook replied. They didn't want any of us to get seriously hurt. Nightingale skipped further into the darkness. If Rook was right, there had to be another bellicose cube nearby. Behind her, Rook stooped and studied the ruined remains of a silver basin. He scowled and looked back up. We'd better be careful. It looks like something happened to the cube. I doubt that the proctors would have intended this to happen. As he said this, Nightingale screamed. Rook spun around to see her being charged by a huge stone monster. It hit Nightingale with a boulder-like fist, sending her sprawling near a treacherous gap in the cavern's floor. The creature advanced on her, threatening to crush her beneath its massive weight. Nightingale held her weapon up in a vain attempt to block it, but it was futile. Nightingale! Rook yelled as he darted across the room, his huge frame pounding with desperate fury as he rammed into the creature. He knocked it aside moments before its massive stone arms came down on Nightingale. Rook pulled at Nightingale's shirt, yanking her to her feet as the monster began to rise again. Run! We can't fight this without a bellicose cube! Rook turned and the group sprinted into darkness. Eventually they came to a stop, panting heavily and hoping they were safe. Oh boy, Nightingale said, shaking her hands to wash away the adrenaline coursing through her. That was exhilarating! Exhilarating? Remy caught up to them nearby, recuperating from the sprint. You almost got turned into a Nightingale pancake. Nightingale nodded and looked back the way they had run from. What was that thing anyway? I think it was an Earth Loa. It was either not supposed to be here, or perhaps they planned on us having that bellicose cube intact. In either case, we're okay now, Rook grumbled. Nightingale burst out laughing and turned to Rook. You just saved a princess in distress! So cliché! I guess I did, Rook said, smiling. I'm glad you're all right. Thanks to you. Nightingale walked up beside him and her hand shook a little as she slapped him on the back. I should have noticed that wasn't just a pile of rocks. Rook relaxed. No big deal. That's why you never adventure alone, right? Nightingale smelled tobacco a few seconds before Zeke stepped up behind her and gave her a look of relief. Good work. Let's make sure nothing like that happens again, though. Nightingale nodded and the group made their way back into the dark. They continued on for what felt like hours. Nightingale purposely stayed at the front, determined to prove she wasn't afraid, even after the close call with the Earth Loa. Eventually, she heard something strange coming from up ahead. Hey, I hear voices! Nightingale couldn't keep her tail from swinging about behind her in excitement as she skipped forward. Remy kept up, her weapon held close. You think we made it to the end? Rook's voice came from behind her, sounding matter-of-fact. Not yet. That isn't how the mast works. Every team has got to go through the gauntlet, and we haven't seen it yet. Oh, she blushed, wings drooping as she slowed a little, falling behind the rest of the team. The room was quite large, at least 50 feet across. Other teams milled about in nervous-looking groups, keeping mostly to themselves. Zeke pointed towards the front of the room where a group of uniformed proctors waited by the door. Let's see what's up, he muttered, striding purposefully towards the front of the room. Some of the other students looked like they'd done worse than their team had. There were lots of little wounds and hasty bandages, but also breaks and untreated gashes and tears. One young man kept himself standing only with the aid of a makeshift splint and walking stick, while another group had one of its members resting between them badly wounded. Guess we did pretty okay after all, Nightingale found herself thinking, following just behind Zeke. The men standing by the door all nodded respectfully to them. Lord Zhang, Princess Arson. A spindly proctor with white hair stepped forward to address them. Glad you made it. What's going on? Zeke gestured behind them at the crowd. The proctor lowered his head deferentially. You've reached the gauntlet, the last stage of the Mast. Each team must survive a game section of the dungeon, so you're sent through one at a time. If you'd like your team moved ahead in the queue... No! Zeke and Nightingale answered together in the same exasperated tone. Zeke was the one who continued. We'll wait our turn with everyone else. As you wish, my lord. We'll call for you when it's time. They left without another word, quickly finding Rook through the crowd. You were right, Zeke grumbled. It's the gauntlet. Rook nodded, satisfied. It was in the study guide. What exactly is a gauntlet? I guess they don't expect us all to share a glove, Remy asked, chuckling to herself. Nobody laughed, though it was Rook who answered. It's different for every graduating class, so it's hard to be sure. It's the thing they wanted us to be prepared for most, in case some of the groups were really clever or lucky. The gauntlet is the same for everyone, so every graduate will be ready for... He shrugged. Whatever. It's usually the hardest part. After what we've been through? Nightingale gave Remy an encouraging pat. I'm sure it'll be nothing. We've got this. 2 years of lectures, 2 years of weapons practice and learning magic? She looked up as the heavy oak door opened and another team was ushered inside. That's our ticket to the outside world. To citizenship. To the demiurge, she muttered to herself privately. Eventually, the white-haired proctor approached them. If you're ready, he said, his voice as deferential as before. It's time. The crowd was mostly gone, leaving only the most injured groups behind. We're ready, Nightingale answered before any of the others could object. Let's do this!
Yes, let us do this. In the next episode. Da, 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 da. So, this is very, very fun so far. I am probably going to go into the late pledge and get the game. Assuming I'm doing this right. Like, do these magic really don't even cost an SP to use? That seems a little... Like, this costs 10 damage. No, 7 damage. But still, that was... Anyway, I will see you next time as I continue. I'll at least get through the gauntlet. I believe gauntlet 2. That's a lot of enemies in that gauntlet. Oh, and that's it. Hello, nurse. Okay. So at the very least, 2 more encounters of this for the channel. Maybe a full playthrough. I am liking this a lot. And until next time, take care.